disturb. All right, so.
Yeah. Go ahead, this. I'll just share it.
I think you shared, right? I don't know. You should accept it. Add to your profile.
I don't have where I can add to my profile thing.
Oh, because you're not on a tag.
I'm gonna stop right there. Every week I tease my followers. I forget I'm not a DJ. I'm like, that is not the purpose of this show, because I will get on here with the music and keep going. So good evening. Good evening. It's Friday night. And you know what we do on Friday night? It's Friday Night Live with Dr. Kim. You know what we do? We get together every Friday night to talk about relationships. I got feedback, see? Yeah, talk about relationships so you can get the love you want and keep the love you need. And so, Making a Marriage, part 2, I got some more outstanding company. Some more outstanding guests tonight to talk about how do you make a marriage? And the emphasis being on the how. The how.
Right.
Yeah.
So the internet is so much content out there about what to do, how to get married, and even what to do, but very few people will talk about the how. So how do you walk that out every day? How do you create? And I think I put that I think that was the subtitle for you guys. I was inspired. How do you create your unique love story, which I consider your love story to be. So my new subscribers, welcome. I'm glad you're here. It's good to see you. Go ahead and like and share. And if you haven't subscribed, subscribe so you make sure you get a notification every week so you don't miss all these wonderful people who just showed up there. Come on in here. Reverend Janine, how are you? Good evening, sweetheart.
Good evening.
Yes.
Good evening. Good evening.
Yes. And my featured guests, aren't they just lovely? And everybody said, why does everybody just look good? I was like, right, but love will make you look good like that. So
I love it.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I want my guests to introduce themselves.
Hey, everybody, I'm Dr. Gino Gibson.
I am Shaquita Gibson.
And usually we say after that, welcome to Journey with the Gibsons.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'll let you take it and I'll fill in the blank.
You fill in the blanks?
Yeah.
Okay. We have been married for 4 years, and we have an interesting situation where I'm sure we'll talk about with Dr. Kim.
Oh, don't leave out. We were divorced and got married again. So
not
marriage.
We didn't divorce each other though.
Second marriage for 4 years. That's important.
Right.
We're doing this love thing again.
Right.
There you go.
We're what we call starting over.
Yeah.
And we have been married into starting over for 4 years. And the interesting thing is we have a long distance relationship. And we'll tell you about that a little bit later, about some of the things that happened. So we're excited about being on here. I'm gonna let my lovely wife talk about herself a little bit.
Yeah, so we, like you said, been married 4 years. We share 4 children, so blended a family.
Right.
My husband had 2 children. I had 2 children. So we can talk about that as well. That dynamic, it definitely helps to make a marriage. Moving between Memphis, Tennessee and Columbus, Ohio.
Yes.
How we do it, it's a wonder to us sometimes as well.
It is a journey. It is a journey.
But it's a journey.
It's a journey.
I'm a faith leader.
Yeah, I work in global human resources.
Right. So we all around this world, we're journeying together, and we're excited to be able to talk about it tonight.
Globe trotting. Okay.
We do what we can.
Okay, absolutely, absolutely. And so you said, so you did reference, okay, blended families. We're doing this as second timers. I know we got some people here in the chat who can relate to that. And
Yeah.
so thinking about just that, we're gonna dive right in. How in the world did you know? I'm gonna go to the wife first. How did you know he was that person? Given that you're like, I've been down this road before, but him, I think he could be that one. What was
I can't
it?
wait to hear this answer.
I know, right?
I think I'm still figuring it out. So listen, I was the one, and I think he'll say the same, that said after my failed marriage that I will never do this again, right? Marriages are tough. When kids are involved, divorce can be painful. And you think, why would I put myself through that again? Honestly, I wasn't looking for another love, a new love. Again, I wanted to just, put the gas onto my career and ride the waves, right? Finish raising children. But this lovely man.
That's good. Lovely.
Getting good. It's getting good.
I already knew, of course, we were associates. And then got to kind of having different conversations. I think we were kind of going through divorce around the same time period. But I'll tell you what made me know he was the one. There was no one else in my life previously that convinced me that they truly wanted to know me at core, who I was. And I can really remember him asking me one day, so tell me about yourself, because we knew each other, but we didn't know each other. And I started with the whole, I'm from Memphis, I've been in HR for, X number of years. And he was like, no, stop. Tell me about you. Tell me about who you really are. And that for me opened up a whole new type of relationship where someone wanted to get to know me beyond the lights, beyond my career, but at the core, who Shaquita was when she's in bed at night, what makes me cry, what worries me. He wanted to know those types of things. And I think in that we developed an amazing relationship. And I said, you know what, listen, I'm gonna go ahead and do this.
Okay, put something on. Like you said, that's different. So something that's a big one right there. You're like, I'm experiencing something that I've not experienced before.
Not experienced before.
Right.
What about you?
What about me? Dr. Kim didn't ask me. She's the interviewer. She's the interviewer.
That's where I was going. Take it away. Your turn.
For me, Shaquita Boone, now Gibson, when she walks in a room, the sunshine walks in, right? And I say that because, and she's heard me say that before, I mean, if you argue with her, it's your fault, even when it's me. Because she
y'all heard that, right?
You got witnesses. You got witnesses.
Now, no, seriously, because she just has this, spirit that wants everybody to win. Black, white, straight, gay, mean, nice, it doesn't matter. She wants she celebrates the human experience, right? Which to me, seeing so many people sometimes, even in the church, that don't want other people to win, that want people to be pulled down and all those things under the guise of spirituality, Christianity, holiness, whatever. That's a whole nother Zoom. But see somebody who in essence wants everybody to win. Yeah. Another thing is this, every man out there, and this is going to be kind of like a vulnerable man moment. Every man out there thinks that they the smoothest guy. Everybody thinks they Billy D descending the stairs, in the movies. And we are trained to be strong. But I never had anybody compliment me more than she did, right? And just did it naturally, right? So I mean, don't get me wrong, I've been dressing for a long time. But when I put on that jacket and she says, with your fine self, I said, whoa, wait a minute. I think I hear theme music as I'm walking out the door now. I hear music or something. I mean, right, them shoulders is going now, right? But I mean, because she wanted me to win. wanted to win, and we were coming from broken situations where that might not have been the case as much. And so when you put that together, at the same time, it was powerful and still is.
Yeah.
Powerful and
still is.
It still is, right?
So I'm gonna jump in here because I didn't talk about kind of why I invited you all to this space. I told you all, when we were talking, but just for those of you who are coming in, come on in here. And there needs to be some more. You better share this link. People need to get this. This is good stuff. And I didn't charge you. So get in here. You get this for free tonight. So what made me compelled to invite you, and Reverend Dr. Gino, I know through my pastors have known him. He's on my top 5. Favorite priests. I won't tell him where he is. I told him that before. You're in the top 5. I won't tell him what number it is. But I was so intrigued by you beginning the journey with the Gibsons and inviting people to follow your journey. Well, like you said, you really weren't inviting them to follow so much as you were just sharing out. Yeah. And the following develop, which I think happens when people see authenticity. They're attracted to realness. But I was like, that is so bold and so courageous to say, we're going to share. So I was like, they gotta have some secret sauce going on. They know that literally God has blessed this, or this is purposeful, that we need to share.
Yeah.
So I just heard that then. We're like, I've experienced something I never experienced before, and how she made you feel about yourself. Like I said, just naturally, not running game.
Right.
We're gonna give some brownie points, girl. You got game.
On me.
You got game, sis.
You was running it on me.
You got game, but it's different than having game and running game. You follow?
Right.
Okay. All right. So I said, you saw what that. I'll say intuitively, maybe that need was that you gave it to him freely. Absolutely. Right. And absolutely. So cool. So in knowing that, starting the journey with the Gibsons, tell our audience a little bit about that, and then I think we'll go into the purpose. But what compelled you to start sharing, and then kind of tell them what happened after you started sharing?
Yes. So I'll start and you can kind of jump in, but leading up to our wedding, so I guess maybe 4 or so months before we got married, we decided to start going live and documenting the stress, basically the joys, the highs, and the lows of leading up to our wedding. And what we know quite a few people. He knows way more people than I do, but just to bring people along the journey with us. And so we started doing this kind of once a month.
Right. It was
once a month journey with the Gibsons leading up to the wedding. And then honestly, we started having so much fun with the people that were joining in with us, because lots of conversations happening, not only about our relationship, because we tell people we are not the experts here.
Not at all.
Right. We've been there, failed, got t-shirts for it. But we want other people to join in and share their ups and downs. We need to learn from each other. And there's always so much hype about the negatives, right? We know all about divorce statistics. We know all about people that don't make it, and everybody that cheats, and everybody that does all this other stuff. We wanted to be able to share the high and the low, right? And be able to help people see what works for us. And they can take some of those tidbits and use them in their marriage and relationship, or say that doesn't work for us. This is what we do. Right. So it's a journey of shared experiences amongst couples. And so we were just trying to create community where we can all lean on each other and make this thing work.
And I think the other piece was, as you mentioned, I am a pastor, right? And so I went through a public divorce, right? Yeah. Many people so frown on divorce and call as it's one of the ultimate failures of the Black church, right? Especially when you're clergy. People don't have information, they'll use imagination, right? And they will do all kinds of stuff and say all kinds of stuff. So it was public. Public. And then because I knew Shaquita and we started dating, then it become innuendo and all that stuff about that. So we said, okay, you can't beat us telling our story.
Our own story.
That's it.
So we
Yes.
began to tell our own story and reframe it. And there were many people that bet against us, you know, and we're not I told you so kind of people. We're just,
I am.
yes, she kind of is.
I
But but for me, it's success shuts mouths, right?
Come on, there you go.
Success shuts mouths. And people thought we weren't going to make it. Now, in spite of all the other stuff, like living in two different places, as my wife said on our church anniversary last week, our marriage is stronger than ever.
Yeah.
We're
Mm,
still each other's favorite people,
Yeah.
you know, and everybody in our family respects that, you know, they respect that. Her mother called yesterday and said, I just want to say happy anniversary to you knuckleheads, because y'all just two knuckleheads, right? Right. And that's a term of endearment for her to say, y'all just love each other.
Yeah.
You know, so y'all just gonna take care of each other. And even like when it's their birthdays, when I call them, they're like, I knew you were gonna call son-in-law. I mean, you know, it's just because the whole family has embraced us. So telling the journey is just, hey, we mess up, we have more ups than we have downs. And guess what? We're not scared to share it.
that
You know,
part.
so I'm not really a PG pastor.
Mhm.
I'm a PG-13 pastor, and sometimes I'll go even rougher to be real, right? So
Yes.
Let me
Yes.
add, because I thought you were going to say this. One thing that my babe used to talk about a lot is that people throw divorced people away, right?
Yes.
And sometimes in that you think yourself that you can never love again. And
Right.
so we also wanted to show that it is very, very possible, if you're willing to do the work, to find love again and enjoy life. Like, divorce is not the end by any means. You are able to get out there, get to meet new people, and actually have a love that could surpass the
Right.
one you had before.
my God, I know it's true.
Yeah.
But also, if you're willing to do the work and find someone who's willing to do the work
With you. Right.
with you.
Yep.
Yeah, you don't want to be working and
By
someone else by yourself.
Okay.
You know?
Just
Right. If
That won't
you
work.
paddling by yourself, you're going around in circles. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So you don't want to do that.
Yeah.
honestly, you said so much. The chat is full now. Yes, Lord, you said a lot. I mean, first of all, happy anniversary. I wasn't sure if I had missed it was coming, but I knew this weekend, and I was going to tease you all about that. When you all got married, 2 other couples I know got married that same weekend.
Wow.
I know one. Yeah.
I think you know Reverend Mike.
Yeah, I know Mike. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm married.
Wow.
It was like down the street, and I was like, God. Now, my daughter's bon voyage party was that same day, so I couldn't go down there and support them. But like I said, another a classmate of mine. So I was like, what is going on this weekend, right?
It's a long weekend, the holiday weekend.
There you go. So
Yeah.
so happy anniversary, happy
Thank
anniversary
you.
to you guys. But you talk about the support. You
Mhm.
talked about being intentional, right? The preparation before, definitely even now. Like I said, when you're living in 2 different places, you have to be, right?
Right.
You have to be. And I think that's where the respect comes from, that you're saying that you get the respect and support. People say, you know what? Oh, they mean it. They mean it. And like I said, and you're vocal about it. That's my person.
Yes.
A lot of wheeze when you talk. I noticed that. Even when you salute her, there's just a certain level of loyalty that you're like, don't come for me, right? Because I'm solid. And I see that in both of you. So I think a lot of that comes from, I said, how you express yourself to one another publicly.
Mhm.
And then like I said, and how you face out. This is who this is. So if you're thinking about coming this way, and those that did, like you're saying, and what was your saying? Success does what?
Shuts mouths. I tell my staff that too. I don't care who's talking. Be good. Be great. Success will shut the mouths.
Yeah.
Yep. And that's it. And success being continued work, like you're saying. That's what I think the misnomer that people have is that marriage, a good marriage is perfection. Where, like I said, a good marriage is that we are honoring the vows that we've made. We keep coming back to the table because we promised.
Exactly.
There's some things we're gonna do. I got every reason, and my parents have said that they know I quote my parents at least at least once every week. There's not a day. They were like, every day there's a reason if you're gonna look for a reason to leave.
Right.
Right.
Absolutely.
Just
Right.
want to read, like, I'm out. Get somebody else to do it. I'm done.
Mhm.
So to show up and do the reverse and say, every day, how am I going to outlove this person, and then
Right.
Yeah.
I'll stand in this space.
I think
That's
I think you only get in trouble when you have more reasons to leave than you have to stay. Right.
I would agree.
So if you have reasons to leave, but then you cross them out with reasons to stay,
Mhm,
put the
mhm.
reason to leave on one side of the paper, reason to stay on the other side of the paper. And if you only have 3 reasons to leave and you have 8 reasons to stay, that's a stay day.
Right.
You know what I'm
Oh, okay.
So
Like the pros and the cons.
if
But
you
don't
got
you think
stay
so much
day,
of that? And this is not in the notes, but wouldn't you agree though that it depends on your lens? So it's just like you'll hear people say, if you're looking for trouble, you'll find it. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
if you're looking for a reason to leave, you're definitely gonna find probably a much longer list. But if you're saying, I'm here to, so I said, to cultivate a relationship, we talked about it being ongoing,
Yeah.
raising your kids, right? So when your kids get on your nerves, you don't, okay,
You don't
it's
throw them away.
it's adoption, right? You go,
Right.
okay, what else do I need to do, right, to get through to this
Yeah.
person? Or what's
I dare
missing
say-
here that would make them act this way or whatever? Go ahead.
It's because I think a lot of it is not that we don't have those reasons to leave or those issues that happen, it's that we don't address them. We don't address them, and they linger and they fester and they grow, and that makes your attitude grow and the hatefulness grows and you know what I'm saying? All of that compiles itself, and now it's too big for you to fight. So I think what we try to do, we are not perfect, y'all.
Right.
We try to address those little issues as they come up, because that little issue, when it's at its original size, is not bigger than the marriage. There's so much more good if you can find your way back to zero, which is a thing we always say. How do we get back to zero? Remembering why we chose each other, why we want to be together, what our goals are, what we're trying to get out of this marriage. Then the fact that you didn't pick up your shoes yesterday is way smaller, right, than the bigger picture.
All those shoes. All those shoes. All those shoes.
Y'all see that jab?
Just trying to let people know what we're dealing with.
Right. Absolutely. And then something else that you said that, and Janine is talking about it in the chat about what that feels like. I said, to go through that and not have the support of your church family, or having people who are, and like I said, I ran into that going through the divorce, and then after, people receiving you, oh, she's divorced.
Absolutely.
So
You throw people
you
away.
can't be in this circle, or now I gotta choose which person I'm gonna be friends with, or
Right.
Exactly.
I said, what does that mean about you and your faith walk, and and all of this. And it's just interesting, the pinball theology, I call it, that people have, that, oh, okay, so if you do this is so many points that God don't like. And it's like, really? I think you all gonna be really surprised when you get to the other side and see who's there, who's not.
Right.
But anyway, like you said, a whole nother show for another day. But to they love that they getting back to zero. Brian McKnight said back at 1. Right.
Back at 1, we go back to zero, right in the middle.
Right.
And you go all the way back.
And honestly, we can be having what some people call an intense fellowship or an argument, or we can be in a tiff. And one of the ways we check it out after some time, are we at zero?
Yeah.
There. And somebody might say, I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet.
I'm still about a -2.5.
Right.
So how do you know you're at zero then? So talk about that. How do you know you're at zero? What are you looking for? What are the indicators?
Individually, for me, I'm looking for one, if I've said all that I need to say, right? If I've communicated everything that I need to say, if we've resolved the issue, if we've even agreed to not resolve it tonight and move on to something else, but we did that as a couple,
Right.
and one person didn't agree to stop, talking about the issue. So it could be several different things depending upon how big the issue is. But if you still have feelings about it, if you still huffing and puffing, and you still got something to say, but you haven't said it. Sometimes I'm not at zero because I still have something to say, but I know if I say it right now, I'm going to say it the wrong way.
Right.
Right? So I need to shut up. Right. I need a moment to find my way back to
And
zero.
she'll say, I'm not
I
at
will.
zero, but give me a
will.
moment.
I will.
She'll go upstairs and watch one of her, what you call it? What's it called?
My ratchet show.
Ratchet show. She'll watch a ratchet show, child.
Some mindless entertainment, right?
She'll see them housewives that they got a house or a wife,
Or
a husband,
and come right on back down to mine.
She'll come
There
back.
you go.
Baby, you hungry? You hungry, baby? Like, yeah, I'm hungry because I got a house and a wife. I got 2 houses and a wife.
There you go. Okay. And that'll end a lot of them, right? What you want to eat? What's whatever. Yeah. All right. That'll bring you back to zero. So when you say that, you say empty out. That you're just, I've said all I'm going to say. I've communicated everything I need to communicate. So I'm not holding anything back.
And there are no negatives. There are no negatives. So we're at zero. It's not negative anything. We're back at zero.
Right.
The starting place.
Right.
The zero place. So we do. I mean, we do that. We do not a lot, but that's a common practice. In our marriage.
And a good one, like I said, because then there leaves very little, like you said, to the imagination for you to wonder. I wonder what he's thinking, why she would say that. You put it all there, and you're addressing the problem, not each other.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
That's big.
Like I said, we got the problem here on the table. I'm talking about this, emptying it out. I'm not pointing, and you.
Right. And your mama.
And
we go left. We will go all the way left. You, your mama, your dog. I don't like anybody else.
Not right now.
And it's like, wait, we're just talking about washing dishes. How did we get there? Right.
But most of the time, like I said, it'll go that way if you've been saving stuff up.
It bills.
Okay, like the air conditioner comes on. Oh God, here we go.
Exactly.
Now you got 6 months worth of stuff. It's like the air.
Where'd they come from?
Right. I don't know.
I'm too close to your car. What?
I'm just trying to watch the game, yo.
That's it. That's all. You don't never. What in the world? Absolutely. So that's huge. Do you all? So you said this is a normal practice or a part of how you all relate. Do you have check-ins? I asked couples that a lot. Do you have points where you actually sit and maybe do a summit and evaluate the relationship? Kind of just check in with it. How are we doing?
Yeah.
Is this where we said we would be, or et cetera?
Yeah, I think we do it quite often. I think we've always tried to do it around our anniversary time. So when our anniversary comes, we kind of use that as our, what have we done this year? What are we wanting to do next year, and so forth. But honestly, I think we do it quite often now because we're apart, right? We talked about being in a long distance relationship. We intentionally check in so much because we're not spending every moment together in the same house. So I don't want to miss anything. I don't want to miss anything that's happening in his day to day. And I'm sure he feels the same way because he probably checks in more than me, actually. But so I think we do a great job of just knowing where we are, knowing where we stand, not only in the relationship, but in life, in our individual jobs, what's happening at the church, what's going on, what's coming up in the next couple of months. We have crazy travel schedules. Individually. So yeah, we have to check in quite a bit at this point.
And then checking in not just on the big level, the macro level, but we check in on the micro level.
Yeah.
We have a 3-hour rule, so within 3 hours, text me or call me or something, simply because you think about it, the person you love more than anybody on earth is 9 hours away.
Yeah.
Right. 9 hours away. The person you love more than anybody on earth is 9 hours away. So you're figuring out, she's gonna text me. I'm going to get Kendall, our daughter, right? She got Kendall. I'm stopping by Kroger, right? Because I want to know where she is in the world in case something happens, right?
There you go.
I used to go to church and come back home. I got a couple places I go around here, but I let her know, headed home, headed up to Kroger, had to get my beard cut, you
Yeah.
know, that kind of thing, so that she knows where I am. Zoom is making me disappear, but she
No, we
knows,
see you.
but she knows where I am,
Yeah.
and I know where she is. So we have at least a starting point, such something,
Yeah.
you know, arise that we don't want to arise, you know.
And that's not necessarily for everybody. You have to set what's comfortable in your relationship. Again, ours is 3 hours. We don't
Right.
go longer than 3 hours without having checked in with each other. But
Mhm.
you know, we like each other. That's harder to do when you don't like your spouse.
Right.
Let's be real about it, right?
Mhm.
So when you have friendship and relationship and you really care what that person's day is like or what that person has going on, it matters, right? So sometimes you have to address some core issues first in order for you to get to that kind of check-in possibilities. Yeah, we're all over the
Trying to
place here.
figure it out. And that brings up this like and love, you know.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Dr. Jordan Taylor, one of my sons in the ministry, blessed me one time. We were doing a marriage counseling together, and he said, love is never good enough. You need to like your person too.
Yeah.
And that's super
Woo!
important because the entry level of relationships is like,
Mhm.
right? And then you start to love somebody. Sometimes we get to the home base or the base of love and forget the other base of like.
Right.
Right.
Yes.
It is love that is my responsibility to do stuff, but I do it better if I like you.
Right.
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 So, you know, love will make me say happy anniversary. Like will make me get some nice flowers and all of those things because I want to please.
Mhm.
There you
Love,
go.
and when love becomes a chore and like is not in the room, it's hard, you know. So we love each other and like each other. So,
Right.
you know, people, man, y'all 9 hours away, they get trite and immediately think about sex. Oh my
Right.
God, bro, how you gonna do that?
Mhm.
I'm like, yo, I miss watching TV on the couch with her.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
No, don't get me
Right.
wrong. The other part is cool, is more than cool. I love it, but it's the other intimacy. We in this stretch, we'll be together 2 whole weeks.
Yeah.
Which doesn't sound like a lot. It's huge for us.
He make
Yes,
up the other
yes.
time.
I mean, we
There
go.
you go. There you go.
Bless God.
Okay, but let's hurry up. I ain't gonna hold you. Wait, I ain't gonna hold you long, and I mean it.
Are we gonna? But I'm just talking about like today. We're at lunch, and I said, "Babe, we got 3 shows to watch tonight." I got excited, you know,
Right.
because that means even if she goes to sleep, I look over there, she's right there.
There.
You know, I'll cover her feet and sit back down and watch some more. But we got some ice cream and everything tonight, baby. We all
We
right.
kicking it tonight,
Hey,
baby.
that makes me think of something that Kevin said last week when they were on, and I was asking him how did he know that Gwen was the one, and he said when he drove away from her house, he was dropping her off, and he was like, he didn't want to leave. He was just like,
Mhm.
now what? Now this is
Right.
who I want to be with more than the world. Why am
Right.
Right.
I gotta fix this. I gotta
Right.
fix this. So, like you're saying, it's those things. It's being in the space, the ministry of
Yes.
presence, the companionship, right?
Yes.
The light, which also makes me think of something that you all shared, and that was even making the decision to pursue a relationship.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that for a minute. When you were at the light originally and said, yeah, maybe it's some possibilities here. Maybe there's a little bit more than a light. And you went on and did some relationship counseling.
First of all, she flirted with me.
And I did not.
So when she flirted
I
with
did
me,
not.
and you know, it turned on the
Making up stuff.
turned on the light for a bro. You know, I was like, all right, I
Flirted
see you
with
green.
you.
I see you green. I'm sorry.
I want to hear what the flirt was, because knowing what I know, right, about people, somebody being nice to you, and
Listen,
the person was flirting with me. You like, I was just being
Dr. Kim. That's exactly what happened.
No. Let me tell you
So
what
just
happened.
tell the people what happened.
So I'm there at the church and I'm leaving out. Time she was over the dance ministry. Okay. They were taking a break. They were in the back of the church. Well, Kendall is small. I'm the pastor. I had never really looked at Kendall much. I'm the pastor. I'm walking around. But on this particular day, I'm walking out. Kendall's small enough to be standing on the pew.
Okay.
I say, my God, you are cute. She was talking, but interrupted her conversation to say, you act like her mama ain't cute. I said, bingo.
Oh.
There you go.
That's not a flirt. Okay.
There you go.
Stop moving. That is not a flirt.
Booyah.
Let's be clear. The way he said, drop the pen.
No, you keep disappearing.
The way he said that my daughter was cute at the time, I was like, you said that like you expected her to be ugly.
That's not what you said, though.
No, that's what I was thinking, though.
Yeah.
And so I'm known to be quite sassy.
Mm-hmm.
And so I really was like, well, you act like she didn't come from good stock.
But that ain't what you said. You said you act like her mama.
I'm her mama. I'm the good stock.
And guess
that
what?
Was quote. That was a quote. Was that a direct quote?
Yeah.
It was. That was a direct quote.
That's full flirt. That's full flirt.
So anyway,
I got it kind of sad with my brother that does sound kind of flirtatious to me.
Now, y'all in the comments, I need y'all to have my back. Come on in the chat.
Was that a flirt, y'all? Was that
help your girl out? Help your girl out. I really was not flirting.
Flirtatious to me.
And nothing really happened. After that, I think we had several more conversations. We went to dinner. We were out somewhere else at a meeting or something, and he made the comment, are you divorced yet? Or something like that. And I said yes, or I can't remember. Either way, he made the comment that, well, when we're both divorced, let's go to dinner.
I did say that.
Okay.
Let's go to dinner. And I was like, oh, shoot. Like, wait a minute.
That was the first real flirt.
And so we went out. We went out.
I was like, that was a flirt. Yeah,
that was a
flirt.
Well, because guess what? The green light was on, Doc. Green light.
Green light was on.
It was green.
He said you owning yours, right?
It wasn't green for me. It wasn't green. I wasn't ready. We can talk about some of that other stuff, like what. Anyway,
it wasn't red.
Question, Dr. King.
It wasn't red.
It was a strong yellow.
Was it yellow? I'm gonna say it was yellow.
Strong. It had a little hint of red in it. But so to answer the question though, making the decision. I think I don't know if we consciously made a decision. I think we just enjoyed each other's company, right? Mm-hmm. So we went to dinner. We talked for hours at that dinner, like seriously closed the place down. And then when it's something so simple and enjoyable like that, you want to do it again. It's like eating ice cream. If you enjoyed it, you're going to get that brand
here's
again.
the other flirt. We ain't talked about this.
And they are saying it's a flirt.
At the dinner, you said, come over here so we could take a selfie. We need to remember this.
Home picture.
Oh, see, look at her face.
We on a date now. We dating. I'm trying to make it see what's shoot.
That wasn't the first date.
That was
the first date.
We took a picture. We took a picture. And so, it was just a picture. Mm-hmm. Anyway, but I think the decision in deciding to date was honestly, we just enjoyed each other. So we kept individually, in those moments, deciding that we wanted to see each other again. When you could get the opportunity. And so seriously, it really grew. It grew from there into this amazing blossoming relationship. And like I said at the beginning, I think in some of those dates and conversations, it became him asking questions to really want to get to know me, right? And so once you begin to open up, something really beautiful happens when you're free to open up and really be yourself.
And you trust
trust the person that you're opening up to. And that turned into this amazing marriage for us.
When someone bears their all and can trust you with it, that love follows easily.
Yeah.
Love follows easily when you can see me emotionally disrobe myself emotionally, and the quirks and my fears, and you don't judge me, right? So that becomes big. That becomes big because
it's scary too.
Yeah, scary because I'm a big personality. I'm a big personality, and a few people know me, right? So the thing about it is when she says, I don't care about that. I remember one time I said, I'm Dr. Gino Gibson. She says, you're big in your world.
Right.
I said, whoa.
Right.
She said, you are huge in your world.
Right.
But that's not the whole world, right?
Wow.
And I was like, wow. She said, because I'm pretty big in my world. I was
Mhm.
like, you know what?
That was a good follow-up though. Because otherwise
Huh?
you could be like, dang, did she just
Yeah.
but
But
it,
then
it
that
goes back, it reiterates what you were saying, getting to know the person. Like you said,
Right.
this is what's important because this is who I'm trying to partner up with,
right,
Right.
not that.
right,
Is
Right.
right.
exactly.
And I love that. I love being a partner off the stage.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
And I prefer that, you know,
Mhm.
to get home, be it Columbus or Memphis. And I'm creating a culture at my new church that they know Pastor's gonna be with Lady G.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you want to meet with him this week, it's gonna be by Zoom because he in Memphis. He with his wife.
Well,
Okay.
it's really important, Dr. Kim, that we support each other. I mean, finding out in a second marriage, you've already established yourself, right? We both have, long-term careers and things of that nature. So as much as being a pastor and a first lady is about me supporting him in ministry and in that role, he gives me equal amount of support. Like I had to travel for work this week. Take it even a step further. It was our second anniversary at the church where he leads pastors. So we had that anniversary Sunday. We jumped on a plane Sunday night because I had to go to North Carolina for work. He jumped on the plane with me, right, to go support me in my endeavors. So that matters so much. I think people have a stigma when it comes to thinking about what a first lady and a pastor looks like and what they should and should not do. And while we are a bit traditional when it comes to honoring those positions, we make time and make this relationship look like what we need it to look like for our lives. And something else like that comes first, because at the end of the day, it's me and him.
Period.
God, me and him. Everybody else we're gonna figure out where you fit after that.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm her fan as much as she's my fan. Right. So funny story, this happened. I felt her kiss me on my forehead. She's going to work. What's Monday? After my church anniversary, I'm not getting up. Right.
Okay.
So I get up 10:30, 11 o'clock. I'm hungry. So I go downstairs. When I get downstairs, I smell all this wonderful food. So we're standing at the DoubleTree, right? So I say to the lady, I says, is there a restaurant here? The food smells amazing. She said, oh no, there's a corporate event going on. I said, baby, my wife's over that. And I walked out and got in the car and went somewhere to eat. Also, my wife runs that. No, that's her.
You're so crazy.
I said it so fast. I got in the car, text her. I'm laughing.
So
That's all, girl, my wife runs that.
Yeah, that love and support has to go both ways. Ultimately,
Yep.
it really does. It makes a difference in the relationship.
Reciprocity is golden.
Yes,
Always. Absolutely. But you said something super important. And again, are you all listening to these common threads from week to week? Are you seeing this? Hello, Mr. Harris, Reverend Harris. Thank you. Are you all hearing this? Hey, Lisa. Who else did I miss? Hey, Kenneth. Who else came in? Keep liking and sharing. Get some more folks in here. And the people who are here, you all know you. Are you taking notes? You better be taking notes. They said the marriage is first.
yes,
God, the marriage, and then all these other things.
exactly.
And that's the children, that's the
Exactly.
that's the
children
business.
too. Yeah,
But they're clear, and I love what you're saying. How you're protecting this space, even with your church family. This is sacred time.
yes,
It is, spirit.
yes.
Doesn't mean I'm diminishing the responsibility to call anything, but this is sacred time here. In order for me to do this, right?
It makes them better. Yeah.
Absolutely.
My executive assistant, if I haven't seen my wife in a week or two, or at least 2 weeks, she'll say, when are you going to Memphis? Or when is Lady G coming? Because they know I'm better. When I can get a recharge by being next to her. You know what I'm saying? I'm better. I'm clearer. I can think, but it wears on me when I go 14, 15 days and I haven't seen her, and no time is in view. I'm counting down to the next time I see her when we go to separate ways on the airport. If I'm going to Columbus,
count down already.
I start over.
I hear you.
Right?
I hear you. You see that glow? You all see the glow? He just glowing. So they know when that glow started going away. Okay, it's time.
Yes.
Somebody
Time
book
for
a
re-up
flight.
on the glow.
Got to re-up on the
Okay.
glow.
Re-up.
Or meet in the middle. I think I saw a post one time. You all talking about meeting in the middle.
We do.
We
Found
did.
out-
Meet in middle locations. Whatever it takes.
Right.
Whatever it takes.
Once we met, we hadn't seen each other for 14 days, and it was going to be a 23, 24-day stretch. We met for 12 hours.
We did.
Yes.
She flew from
did.
Germany. I flew from Columbus, and we met somewhere. I mean, she picked me up from the airport because she got the rental car. We went to the hotel bar to watch the game and have dinner and just hung out in the room, watched TV, maintained our marriage, all of those good things. And then the next morning, we flew differently.
Yeah.
See?
But I think that's so important.
Yes.
You know, and we're learning it together, you know, that marriage maintenance, however it is, physical, emotional,
Yeah.
spiritual, is always needed.
And yeah, and let me just say, our story is our story, right? Everyone doesn't live long distance. Everyone's not a pastor and first lady, but whatever it takes in your relationship, make sure you're doing all that you can. Us meeting for 12 hours on a flight in the middle of nowhere is doing all that we can to make sure, right? So whatever that looks like in your marriage, in your covenant, in your commitment, just make sure you are giving it 100% to the person that you are partnered with.
Because you can't complain about what they're doing if you haven't done your all.
Right.
Oh,
Right.
say that again.
You can't complain about what they are not doing if you have not done your all.
Yes. Yes.
So
yes.
it's so easy to say they did this. What's your contribution to the disease or dis-ease of the relationship?
Right.
What's your contribution?
Woo.
And you got to own that, right?
Oh.
You got to own your part. So I think we do a grown job, an adult job, mature job of owning stuff.
Yeah.
Now we might not like it,
Yeah.
but we own it, you know, and it might take a couple times and we might have to go to neutral corners, but because we choose it, Dr. Kim, we choose it. You know what I'm saying? We choose it. We're intentionally kind to each other.
Yeah.
Every morning she gets good morning, beautiful. I hope you rested well. Every morning.
Yeah.
Listen to me. Even if I'm sleeping next to her,
Right.
I wake up and text her,
He does.
good morning, beautiful. I hope you rested well. Because I don't want to get out of practice.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
Every single morning, no matter where she is in the world. She was somewhere, she was getting up, I was going to bed. She would say good morning, I say good night. Then 6 hours later, she's going to bed, I'm getting up, and we say good morning, good night.
Yeah.
It's intentional. It's not sappy. It's not sappy. The brothers out there, it's not sappy. Your wife
don't make you a simp. Absolutely.
Your wife is like a flower. If you talk to her and treat her well, she'll open up. And let's be men. Let's be men. We want them to open up, right?
Oh.
So if you treat her well, she will open up for you like she's never opened up before. But if you treat her wrong, she'll close and will never open again.
Right.
So my thing is, I'm trying to get this flower to be full bloom. So I got to do the work that, you know, some people might say, she took your card. I gave it to her. You know what I'm saying? I gave it to her because I want it to work. And when you do that, it decreases your desire for anybody else.
Come on now.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you're saying a lot. You're saying a lot. But it's the consistency. The consistency. And you hear a lot of people say that, you know, what it took to get this person. They say it takes to keep. I always say it takes double.
Takes that and more.
Right.
Takes double, not just that. Exactly. Keep
and if
it fresh.
If you're not being creative, you're not going to keep it.
At all.
Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. Because like I said, things are changing around us. We're changing, especially think about everything you said, all the traveling that you're doing, so many experiences and things that you're taking in and you're learning and you're evolving. So that connection is so important. Like that checking in every 3 hours, to me, again, that's not even, it's an accountability piece, but it's also, like I said, connecting, because you're still in touch with what's going on with me.
Right.
What is happening? What have I seen? What have I heard? What am I experiencing? Now I can experience it with you, even if it's virtually, right? But I'm aware and Dr. Juno, you were saying I'm aware of what's going on with
Right.
my person. So it's not that, okay, now 2 weeks later, and now I'm trying to give you a Twitter version of what's happened.
Exactly.
And then now you're trying to reconnect.
Yeah.
How about let's stay connected?
Right. And you're gonna tell somebody.
Right, right,
So you either gonna tell your spouse or you're telling somebody.
right.
Yeah.
I think a check-in without substance and intimacy is stalking, right? A check-in without substance and intimacy is stalking. So when my wife calls me and says, babe, I know she about to give me the rundown from Germany to Zurich to China all the way. And I'm sitting there like, I can't believe it, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah.
So you say without intimacy is stalking. So if somebody just texts you, what you doing?
Right, right.
Where you
That's
at?
stalking.
Where
That's
you
stalking.
at?
Where
What
you
you
at?
doing? Can I come over?
Right, that's stalking.
You hear the difference? But like you said, but I've seen that, like you said, even within marriages, it's kind of like, because you got to check in. I got to stay on her. I got to stay on him instead of it being like you said, because I'm genuinely
You really
interested.
Right.
Miss you. I want to miss you. Hey, what's going on? You know, or how is it going? Whatever you're
Right.
involved in, how's that going? Is it, are you good?
Right.
Not. So it's 3 minutes, 3 hours and 1 minute. Negro ain't.
Right.
Right.
What you on?
Right.
Right.
But I mean, she'll say, babe, we're nearing 2.5 hours, but I got a 3-hour meeting. I'll hit you after.
Right.
There
You know, it's we want to.
Right.
Yes.
We don't got to, we get to.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I know that there's somebody on this earth that's looking for me, that cares about me, right? And she knows she has the same thing. So the cat calls that she gets, or the people that saying, "Ooh, you look good," that don't mean nothing. It's almost, I mean, I appreciate it, but you ain't got it, boo. You ain't got the weight. You ain't got to get your weight up to fool with me.
Because you watered your flower.
I water my flower.
So your flower ain't thirsty.
Right. Right. And it goes both ways now. It goes both ways. Ladies, we got to take care of our men, right? We gotta rub their head and tell them they fine and do everything. I know, right? We got to do all the work that we have to do as well, because again, you don't want your spouse, whoever it is, to find it somewhere else. And you will, if you're deprived of that love and that care and that concern and that compassion, you will look for it somewhere else if you're not getting it. That's
just be vulnerable to it. Because like I said, opportunities are always there. But like you're not vulnerable to it because you moving, like you said. You're being fulfilled, you're being cultivated. But with that missing, you're susceptible to almost anything.
Exactly.
Right? Exactly. Somebody said, forget what the fellas got to say. My wife comes first regardless.
I love it.
Call it what you want. I'm all that. I play golf on Mondays. My wife called and left me a message 2 weeks ago. My golf game went all the way up after that message.
I love it. Yes.
I love it. I love it.
Okay. We don't got to, we get to. That's right.
Yeah.
They in here preaching. Y'all gonna make my foot feel like I want to run. I'm about to take a lap. Oh my God. Good. You all are helping the people, because like you said, those are things that we don't talk about. Is well, you just supposed to. Are you for real?
Right.
Are you for real? What about meeting those needs? It's not in the notes. Meeting the needs that might be different than your own. So for example, and I love what you all are saying. So for me, like I said, those text messages, super important, because my love language is words of affirmation. Somebody else might be like, that's not my deal. I'm acts of service if you're talking about the 5 love languages.
Yeah.
So how do you, or what would you say to our listeners, our viewers, about meeting your partner's need when it's different than your own?
I was gonna say, I've got a great example.
Okay.
Well, let me give the information and she'll give the illustration. Can we do that?
I love it.
Right.
Okay.
So
go ahead.
In 5 love languages, many times when we speak love languages, we speak to people the one we love.
Yep.
Right. And most times, or more times than not, they don't need the same love language that we do.
They're a different person.
Yeah. As a result, things get lost in translation.
Right.
Yep.
Because we're speaking 2 different love languages. So in order to have real love language, you must be bilingual. which means that you must be able to receive your love language, but also speak their love language, right? So it's speaking in tongues, if you will, for our Christians on the thing, right? So you have to speak a love language that they hear in their own tongue, right?
Yeah.
So that's what people miss, because dog it, I'm giving it to you. Well, no, you're not giving me what I want and what I need. You're giving me what you want and what you need, right? So go ahead, Big, give the illustration.
No, I mean, I think you just summed that up so well, though. We don't even need the illustration at this point.
But I like you telling it.
What I was going to say, though, is to answer.
You know you're audible. Go ahead to me.
Right. To answer Dr. Kim's question is you have to care enough to know what your spouse's love language is.
Boom.
Let's start there. Right. And then you have to intentionally do it. Right. So when we first started dating, I like to sit on, when we watch movies, I like to sit on the couch by myself with my blanket in the corner of our little chaise lounge, right? Okay. I only got to touch, be next to each other. I'm gonna watch a movie on this end of the couch, and you can watch it on that. Well, my husband's love language is touch.
Second one.
Okay. One of them is touch, physical touch. So that bothered him, right? So I have to intentionally, like it's so intentional where I go, you want me to move over? Do I need to move over some? We're gonna watch this movie together or apart? Like, I need to make a conscious decision and effort to be close to him, not just in sexual moments, but in moments of intimacy when we're watching movies and things of that nature. My husband, I think this may have been an argument before. My husband's a wonderful gift giver. He will give you the most amazing gifts, and I still want them. Don't stop giving them by any means. Right? I want every single one of them. But gifts is not my love language, right? Serving. So he will buy me a Tiffany bracelet, which is amazing, and I love it. But I want you to wash the dishes because I want to sit down, right? I want to take a break when I get home from being with the kids and being at work all day. That's gonna make time for you because you gave me another 20 minutes to rest. Now I got some energy for you going on, right? No, but listen.
Hey.
It all works together.
I need a nurse.
It all works together if you're working together.
Wait a minute, let's wait.
No, I had to learn that though, Dr. Kim.
I
had to learn that. So my thing is, when I'm in Memphis, I wait on her. Do I not?
You do.
I wait on her, right? Because I know she's there with Kendall, and Kendall is 9, about to be 10, and Kendall's a lot. She can be beautiful, brilliant, but beautiful and brilliant come with lot, right?
Kids got a lot going on.
So if I know, she's getting up early, take Kendall to school, meeting in the car because her time zones of her job all over the world. She has to meet sometimes at 6 a.m, get Kendall ready because on camera. So she's all dolled up at 6. I'm asleep. So I'm snoring, right? So if I get up, babe, what do you need? Well, now she comes home to work, but I'm just saying, okay, I'll go run and get lunch. I'll make lunch. What we eating for dinner tonight? Do you want me to cook tonight?
That matters.
Because I know that if Kendall goes down at 9:30, we got a little bit of TV, but we got a lot of time to be whatever we want to be.
Yeah.
And I want to be great.
But if I still have to fold clothes, finish the laundry, wash the dishes, sweep the floor, then I want to go to sleep after. Now that takes away from intimate time for us because the husband or the spouse has been sitting around for 4 hours with the remote. Like, no, we have to figure out ways to balance this thing for each other, because at the end of the day, you want to be able to spend quality time together to keep the marriage. What's your thing? Keep the marriage going. What's our theme?
Let's say get the love,
making marriage grow or something. Yeah.
Creating your
yes. You have to.
Right? So that's an active verb. That's an active
and brothers, I had to learn that, brothers, and listen to me. That flower will bless your life. Bless your life, dog.
Slow motion.
Bless your life.
Well, like you said, and it also gives the message that we're in this together.
It does.
Like you said, not so much I'm going to do this to get something, but
exactly.
If this is something I know needs to be done, whatever that is, and it matters to her.
Yes.
And it matters to him, then I need to do that because it's a we. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
I'm here for you. We're in this together.
Boyz II Men is one of my favorite groups of all time. And the reason is because it's a group that has solo and background singers. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So in a marriage, if you want to have a nice group, you have to have people that sing solo and background.
Mhm.
If you're seeking to sing solo all the time, but your spouse has to sing background all the time, y'all gonna have an unsung.
Oh, whole nother show.
Gonna have an unsung.
Yeah,
right, absolutely. So you talked about, like I said, the balance in the work, the balance in so many things. And again, are you all seeing the common denominator? They talked about this last week, right? How they had to take turns. Oh, it's your turn to work on this promotion. Is you okay? Now it's my turn to go to school to get this other degree. Oh, it's my turn to launch this business. Oh, now it's my turn. Stay home for a minute and get things recalibrated. And so that taking turns, some folks didn't learn that in kindergarten and they still haven't mastered it. I tried to help them when I taught kindergarten, but you know how that goes. And so like you said, that because it's about us. I want to know that you're okay. We're a team, right?
And when you're doing it for the marriage and not individually. I'm just saying you're doing it for the marriage, not for individual gain. Now, if that person's doing, taking those turns for individual gain, it can get a little messy. A little messy. No one wants to be in a marriage competing against each other, right? Absolutely. So you have to make sure that your vision and your goals for the marriage are aligned. Right. So if I want to go back to school next week and get a nursing degree, did we talk about that? What does that mean? What does that look like? Like figure out what that means for the house and the family before you jump off and enroll.
Come home with a nursing bag.
You come home with school books and you ain't talking to nobody about it, right?
You just decided.
And you decided. You come home with the outfit. Yeah. Come on with the nursing outfit.
Dr. Kim.
Oh, she talking
with question. You so crazy.
The hour is late. The hour is late. So we're gonna bring this to a close. Crazy. I might have to have y'all come back next season because it's so much. There's so much we didn't get to. But my God, did you see? I know. Did she just hit that? I'm telling you, it's just like I can't. And then the one, and then the other one, and then the one. I know. I'm over here trying to direct traffic. I can't do it because. It's just so much. But like you said, what all of these answers that you've given come back to that same conclusion because we're intentional about being here. So I want you to be happy. I want us to be happy. I want this to work. I want this to be good. I want us to achieve these goals. So we're going to move to the goals before we close. But we're here for the same reason. So much of that, though, you did at the beginning. And again, I can't emphasize that enough. Telling people, and you would think people would know that as we get older, but they don't. Don't be falling in love. Falling hurts. I'm more falling in love, but we're gonna choose to love, and in choosing, we're gonna engage both what. And y'all know I love Howard Thurman. Yes, I cross over into my seminary life. It's got to be the heart and the mind. You got to engage both. Right. And so I'm feeling with my heart. Let me check in with my mind. And like you said, let's do some talking, some real talking. This is where I am.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
This is where I'm going. This is what I really want to do with my life. And you said alignment. So are we going anywhere near the same direction at all?
Right.
Now I said I might need to change up my pacing if I'm like, okay, I really do want to partner with you. Right. Let me change up my pacing a little bit. Or no, I never thought about that. Maybe, like you said, maybe this is why to make me better. Maybe I've been sitting on some things. Maybe this person, it can motivate me. Not their job to motivate me, but maybe they can motivate me to do more. So like you said, growing in love. We heard that last week too. Growing together, but you got to choose right is what I'm trying to tell you all.
Let me jump in there right there, Dr. Kim, and it's very quick. I say this all the time. You cannot pick which fish you fall in love with, but you can pick where you fish. Right? So you can't, you can't fish in the pond where you know they don't got good fish, catch one. And be like, well, I don't like this. I don't like this fish. Yeah. Well, you pick the,
Even if you put the good batter on it, You
know what?
You still want to go where they where they put the good fish in the water.
Right.
Right.
The dish ain't made by batter, it's made by quality of fish.
Right.
Okay.
You know, so you have to put yourself in places and have, you know, the love resume or the business resume, because we grown people now.
Mhm.
You know, love is not enough. You got to bring something with your love.
Yeah.
You got to have something to put on the table with your love.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
I mean,
You ain't eating off love.
no, you
Yeah,
past
yeah.
30, 35 years old, you need a love and a 401k. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, come on now. Potential.
You
We
need
doing
love and a
potential.
portfolio by now.
Right.
Okay. But you know
Right.
what? I'm sorry. I said that to my kids when they were younger. To be honest,
Yeah.
That's cool too.
coming out of high school. And people thought I was wrong for saying it. But I was like, look, if for my girls, I had son, 2 daughters, and my son happily married. They coming up on 7 years. Bless their heart. Hey,
Oh, congrats.
Congratulations.
they did the work. And Reggie walked them through it too. He put them through the paces beforehand, like for real, like for real.
Right.
But even before that, it was like, look at the fruit. Where are they? Do you have a plan for your life, even right now? Coming out of high school, so I would told my daughters, if you're dating somebody, this boy doesn't have his own vehicle or access to a vehicle, to me, that's a sign.
Yeah. There better be a good story
It
behind it.
don't have to be
That means the bank or your parents don't trust you.
that part. That's what I said, or access to. Okay. That's a sign.
Access to,
That's a
right.
sign. And then like I said, you're not in school. Are you working? Where are you working? Okay, why are you working there? So there's some things I'm saying, looking at, people, and then like I said, making some intentional choices. I don't care at what point you are in your life, but you
Right.
got to be at a certain place, right?
Yeah.
Because I think you also, like I said, being in certain places, but you also attract, like I said, where you are, right?
Right.
So it's all of that. But like I said, at this age, like you said, moving on up the food chain.
We grown.
Grown. You need to be able to address that. So as we close, what are the goals now? We're talking about 4 years, a lot of things, like I said, a lot of moving parts, a lot that's solid. We didn't talk about the purpose for the marriage so much. So maybe if y'all can kind of weave that together. Why do you think you were brought together? And given that, what are some goals that you all are working towards with the marriage or within the marriage?
Yeah, so I guess we'll take this backwards, maybe. Some of the goals I think that we talk about often, and that we're working on, which works in tandem with the purpose, I think, is creating wealth for our family, creating wealth for our children, creating stability for our family, making sure that like we got love and a 401k, several, you know what I mean? Making sure that those types of things are in place so that our children can be successful, can learn from our experiences, and can be okay when we're no longer here on this earth. Should we leave before them, which we would hope, that we do. We want to make sure that we are putting good things in place, investments in place for our children, our grandchildren. We want our grandchildren to be okay, right? So we're trying to, and I'm surprised you didn't say this earlier, at the end of the day, marriage is a business deal, right? Like we're putting together business acumen here for ourselves and for our future generations to make sure that, and you can talk about the branding, that we leave impact on this in this world.
Right. And here's a big thing. Dr. Kim, you and I have known each other for a long time, from me coming to University Park to preach. I'm 52 next month. I got a divorce at 45. When I got divorced at 45, I was basically destitute other than the house I owned, because I had to pay for a lot, right? And any man on here that's been through divorce, it costs something. And here's the thing, the Lord has given it back. I'm talking about, I can't even talk about how much God has blessed me, right? How much God has blessed me through this relationship and even through my own work. So for me, what our purpose to me is to let people know that love is just not seeking love, securing love and sustaining love, but sometimes love has a starting over, right? And it's okay. It's okay. It's okay, because God will start you over to seek, to secure, and to sustain again, right? And you don't have to, just because you were broke, it doesn't mean you're broken, and you're not injured forever, right? So that's what I want to show. I know people who have committed suicide over divorce, right? And hurts people, right? You know, so I want to show that by letting people know that they can find love, hope, and purpose, right? So we have a company called I Speak Life, LLC, you know, and I've been saying I Speak Life forever. Part of I Speak Life is Journey with the Gibsons, right? So when I do my stuff personally, that's me. But then when we come together, we're still speaking life. So we're living, learning, and we're loving, right? That's what you'll see on the screen behind us, you know, living, learning, and loving. We believe that. We live together, right? Our heartbeats become one. We learn more about each other, more about Christ, more about how to be kind and how to want everybody to win. And then finally, we love harder because we've done that. And so to me, they all go together. For me, and I know for my babe, the number one goal is to build wealth off of what we do, right? We want to build, we want to invest in all of that stuff, but we want to turn what we do and bless people, right? Because we believe that when we bless people, people will say, you know what, y'all need to hear Journey with the Gibsons. Y'all need to come over to Chicago. Y'all need to go over to wherever just to bless people, right? We don't believe we leave it all on the table, right? So we work hard. We have a marriage retreat we're doing in the morning, and for 4 hours, we're going to give them everything we have, you know, so that we might bless the people here in Columbus. And then we're on a plane to Memphis after that. But anyway,
we busy. Busy.
But yeah, I think that's our purpose. Our purpose to let people know that God is not the God of one chance or two chances. You know, God is a God of another chance. And if you you know, whatever you've done, your work, you know, you're bigger than your last or worst mistake. You can still make it. You know, people counted us out, and we realized that they just couldn't count. You know what I'm saying?
So they can't count.
Right. And Dr. Kim, I think with the brand I Speak Life, I think that's literally what we do. Like, we speak life to each other in this relationship, and ultimately want to speak life to other couples, right? Back to why we started Journey with the Gibsons. We want to speak life to people, because ultimately then those people, once they receive those blessings in their life, they speak life to others.
Yes.
And it's residual, it keeps going. And so again, I think I talked about earlier, there's so much that we harp on about the negative and divorce, and that stuff happens. It's life, right? We cry, we're sad. We both, divorce is dark, right? It's a very dark place, can be. We've been there, but now we're out of it, right? So we want to speak life into the world, into relationships, and see where that can go. Like, how does that change the scope of how we're living literally in the world today? There's a way to make it better, and we want to do it as community.
Right. And some shine is brighter when it's against a backdrop of blackness or darkness, right? We've been in that darkness, right? So I mean, if you go to Jared tomorrow, they're going to put that diamond on a black felt, because they want to see the shine coming off that backdrop. So if you have backdrop of darkness in your life, divorce, bankruptcy, whatever it is, jail, you know, struggling with sexuality, whatever you feel is dark, I'm saying that God can bring brightness from it. You know, and there's some people that we will talk to that might not believe in the God we believe in. They might believe in the universe or whatever. Life. We still speak life. Still speak life, you know.
And that more abundantly.
That more abundantly, right?
No, for real, like you said, because sometimes people, we still will settle, right? So I got to move on, and because what's happened to me, I guess I should be happy with this.
Settlement, not
settlement, right?
We're not settling. Those expectations should still be high, because, like you said, there's a certain thing called redemption, and redemption don't look raggedy.
Right.
Right.
Redemption's not raggedy. So like you said, I'm showing up, I'm loving. I got a mural on my wall that says that, so love like you've never been hurt. Right. Dance like nobody's watching, all of that.
Yeah.
And that's what you're illustrating for us, that's what what's supposed to mean. And that's, like I said, that's the love of God.
Right.
And if we can't walk that out, then, like I said, all of it is a lie.
Right.
Then all of it is like throw it all away. And so I love that. Like I said, building, like I said, the generational wealth, but the wealth in your story as well. So like I said, not just the monetary wealth, but the depth and the richness of a real relationship, that this is what this looks like to lean into another human being and walk and journey with them.
Right.
There's joy in that. There's pain in that. How do we do life?
It takes time to get there. We shouldn't rush that, right? We shouldn't rush that. It takes time to do it right.
Yeah.
And it's every day. It's everyday intention. It's everyday intention, So like I said, when I wake up, I grab my phone after my first little prayer, I text her, right? So when she wakes up, or she'll text me, "Good morning, babe," so I wake up to it, or she wakes up to it. That's the beginning of intentionality.
Yeah.
That means starting my day off right.
Yeah.
With intention and with purpose.
Yeah.
Starting the day. What's the biggest lesson you all have learned? And then I will give my plug, and then y'all can go ahead and start your weekend. But what's the biggest lesson you've learned?
You go.
The biggest lesson I've learned in marriage.
Yeah. In these last 4 years, what's the biggest lesson you've learned?
That, I think, I don't know if this is the biggest lesson, but it's a major one, that no matter how hard you try, no matter how hard you love, no matter how much you get right, marriage can still be hard, right? Because life can sometimes be hard. And so I think sometimes we forget about that. Even in a second time, you think it's going to be so much greater, because now I've met somebody that really loves me, and he really wants to know who I am. And he really, touches my soul, and it's better than the first time, but he still can rock my nerves, and I can still rock his nerves, right? Like, it's still hard. Like, we're still two individuals, very individual, thoughts and lives and behaviors. And it goes back to the intentional. It takes work every single day to wake up and decide to love that person again. And it's not going to be easy. We like to throw away the stuff that's hard very quickly, very quickly. And I think I'm still learning every day, even in our journey. It's only been 4 years, still learning each other, that it's hard. It's hard. Life gets in the way sometimes, but it's worth it. Right? It's so worth it. So that's probably one for me.
I think mine is not the same, but it's adjacent. In this marriage, and even in our friendship, maybe let me say it this way. I don't know if I understood that spouses were 100% their own people. Right? I thought that you got my name, I pay the bills, and you the background singer, I'm going to chop down all the trees and all that stuff. No, but when you become married and it's successful, or it's going to be successful, you have to embrace the full humanity of your spouse. Their full emotions, their full mentality, their full sexuality. Men don't want to usually accept the woman's full sexuality, right? And I ain't talking about nothing crazy like she wants to step out or anything like that. But men will quickly say they like Beyonce, right? Woo, Beyonce, look at Beyonce, right? My wife's like, look at the cop on Chicago PD though. Right? So then I'm like, hey, foul, wait, time out.
You handle that?
Where that happened? Where that happened at? So that's just a funny part. It's a true part, but it's a funny part.
Right.
To say, for me to get the best out of my flower, I have to fully embrace her humanity as my equal. Right? You know me, my wife knows me. I'm not a misogynist in any way. But still, I didn't know if I was doing equal.
Mm.
Does that make sense? You know, I open the door for you. I respect you, all that stuff, but equal like, you know, so that's what I think is the blessing and burden of this marriage. We wrestle with the power dynamic as friends and as fair.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
So we don't have the problem of the power dynamic often. We have it sometimes.
Right.
And you know, but she doesn't have to fight for it. She might fight for it sometimes because she might think she has to.
Yeah.
I might be showing regression. I don't know. But what I'm saying is we make sure that that's a huge part.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
If she says, no, I can't tonight sexually, I can't think, you know, well, you supposed that's hers. That's her body. She owns that and decides to give it to me. Right. So I think all of those things, if she disagrees with me, I can't say, you're supposed to agree with me. I'm the man of the house. She has the agency and faculty to feel her own way. I think that we don't do that enough.
No.
We don't do that enough. And that has been the biggest learning for me. And so I often question, am I, you know, making sure that you're not feeling me being overbearing. And sometimes I got to say, you being overbearing. Right. But that could be from a woman having to fight to be equal sometimes. Right. So I think that's a huge part. That's a huge part.
That's a big one. And like you
It's
said,
a whole nother Zoom, Dr. Kim. You gotta,
oh my God,
that's
what I said. Y'all go ahead, me up here.
We do a whole thing on power, money, and sex in relationships. It's amazing. It's amazing to talk about that power dynamic, especially when money and sex comes into play. So yeah, it's big. We'll do that next time.
Well, that money breaks up more homes than sex.
Absolutely.
No, they twins. They twins.
You say go together.
They twins. Can my babe drop where to find us and stuff like that?
Absolutely. That's what I'm telling you. Y'all are right on the same page. That's where I was going. So come on.
So everyone
where to find you.
Yeah, can absolutely find us on Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube. Journey with the Gibsons, just how it's spelled, JOURNEY with the Gibsons, GIBSON on all three channels, or our website, the speaklifeteam.com. You can find all of our information there as well.
Okay, and you need to find them. Did you hear what they just said? But we need all of that in this marriage retreat tomorrow and everything. So I want to thank you all. Like I said, again, I hope you heard a common thread from last week, the growing together, the intentionality, learning your person. I keep thinking about this flower you were talking about, Dr. Gibson, learning your flower. If you think about the garden, if any of you garden at all, you know, every plant you get has directions to it, right? It needs this much sun, it needs this much water. And so even though all those flowers are beautiful, that particular flower needs particular care. And so it's up to us to do that for the partners that we choose. What does this one need? Not what men need. What this
right.
Or what the women need. What this woman, right.
Or the last
I learned last time. Exactly. Is that what does this one need? And on this particular day, because like we talked about, we're changing and we're evolving all the time. And so I think that's super duper important. And so they gave their plug, the Journey with the Gibsons, IG, Facebook, and where else?
On YouTube.
And YouTube, right? And I am a follower. And same thing, if you want to, because you know I love talking about relationships. If you want some coaching, you want to talk by yourself, or I just started with 2 couples, come on and get this relationship coaching. You can find me at the Complete Suite LLC on Facebook or on Instagram. Book a session. Don't be scared. Let's talk about it. Let's get it out in the open so you can start right, get the love you need. Get the love you want, keep the love that you need. And so thank you all. Thank you for the lovely chat. I can't wait till you all go on YouTube and see some of the comments in the chat. Otherwise, I will see you here next Friday, same bad time, same bad channel. And to my unicorn angel that makes me believe that anything is possible. Good night. Good night. Thank you all. All right. See you soon. Have a good retreat tomorrow. Okay. Good night.